But yeah, at the same time, they're role models, man, and they role models to so many. And I just spoke to Deshaun Jackson last night, and we was just talking
Delaware
about
State.
The opportunities that we've been given and the platforms that we have now, and it's because other people paved the way for us. And so we're so thankful for that, man. And just humbly accept this opportunity, but ready to go get it, Cam, for real. It is, man. Hey, you put this together, too.
I did it.
This
I
is
did
amazing.
it. Man, shout out to Marcus.
How long it take to put that together?
Man, it was effortless. This is just a Wednesday, which is a Thursday, I don't know.
Absolutely.
But I'll say this, though, in all seriousness. In no blasphemic way, Mike Vick, you are a god to me.
You always told me that.
Listen. Growing up in Atlanta, Georgia, this person gave me hope. This person gave me an opportunity to dream, to think, to just say, hey, you know what, bro? I can play quarterback. Matter of fact, I can make it to the league. Matter of fact, I can change my whole family dynamic. So, for me, this shirt, this jersey, this opportunity means a little different, bro, because I know what you meant, not only to Cam Newton. There's no Cam Newton without Mike Vick. I know what you did for a whole city.
Yeah.
So even when I went to Charlotte, the stage was already set. I have to be, at minimum, what Michael Vick was to Atlanta. Thank you.
Now that you got that off your chest.
You know what I'm saying? I just had to pay my homage or homage.
But you always give me that same spiel, and it feels more passionate every time, and I feel it, Cam.
And I need my $1.15 that I spent my last $1.15. That was a week of lunch.
Yeah.
I spent it on a poster for a Michael Vick poster at a book fair. They still got book fair.
Don't worry, I'm going to triple that.
Say less.
Quadruple.
God is good. But talk to me about this, though.
Yeah.
When you're talking about this transition from college player, NFL player, transitioning into media, now transitioning into coaching, right? We've already seen the forefathers, obviously with, Coach Prime, Eddie George. What has that transition been like for you? How have you had the schematics to say, this is how we're going to operate defensively, this is going to be my scheme, offensively, that's going to be my scheme, and how do you come up with these type of thought process in your position?
Well, a lot of people I talk to, because, when you step into a role that you've never been into before, it's the unknown. And so you kind of got to reach out to people and say, hey, here's, how should I do this? Or what's the best way to go about putting schedules together? And some things that just don't know, you gotta get advice on. But the best piece of advice that I got from Prime was do it your way. Put your spin on it, make it what you want it to be. And so, I never dreamt of being a head coach.
Right.
I've only watched my head coaches and appreciated them and respected them so much that I was able to go back and draw on those experiences like right on the spot. And so still, it's a day-to-day process. I learn something new every day, but I also appreciate the process, and that's what we tell our guys, our young men, respect the process, appreciate it, and enjoy it.
Come on.
Can I ask you a question as a human being? What gave you the courage to pivot?
It was a tough pivot, especially when you get comfortable in the role and you start feeling like, I'm starting to learn something different, especially things that you don't aspire to do in life. I always aspired to be a professional football player, and then all of a sudden it's this pivot, it's a turn, for the better. And so you learn how to do, operate in another environment, and then all of a sudden an opportunity presents itself. Something that I wanted to do down the road, the opportunity just came a little sooner than I thought, very abruptly, and I wasn't really prepared for it, but in my heart and in my mind, I was prepared for it. So, like I said, it was the unknown, and people sometimes you're afraid to step out there when you can't see what the end game is going to be.
That's right.
And that's a sacrifice, but I know at the end of the day, I can do whatever I put my mind to. And obviously, it was about surrounding myself with like-minded people who wanted the very best for Norfolk State, for themselves and their families, and for NSU football.
And the other thing is this power. The other thing to know is that there's power in regret. When you know that you didn't try, that you didn't go for it. That regret can be more painful than actually striving and failing. Having said all of that, let's go back to you in this regard. At Virginia Tech, 22-2 in 2 seasons, went to a national championship game, third in the Heisman Trophy voting. You know, you accomplished great things in your collegiate career before you went to the NFL and took it by storm. I'm thinking about you playing in Philadelphia under Andy Reid. I'm thinking about you as an intern under Andy Reid. I'm thinking about the coaches that you've been blessed to be associated with and PWIs, predominantly white institutions. I'm quite sure the opportunities that are out there and stuff like that, a lot of folks would have liked to have had that. What made you think about an HBCU, and how has it touched you to be a part of an HBCU since you've been here?
Yeah, I understood the culture. I grew up watching Norfolk State. As a kid in Pop Warner, they brought us to Norfolk State games. And I just knew, you know, in order to accomplish my dreams, I had to go in a different direction. But I always had respect for Norfolk State. I had eyes on them, just in case I had to have a fallback plan. But to get an opportunity to help these young men in this position now, understand what greatness looks like, understand what success looks like, understand what being men of character looks like, that means more to me than anything. And so we work on that every day. It's always something that we got to deal with, and being a head coach is definitely not easy, but at the same time, it's gratifying because every day I look forward to coming here. You know, when you come to work every day looking forward to being there, you're going to put your all into it and you're going to get the most out of it. So, you know, I appreciate that. Cam,
but I'll say
congratulations.
Appreciate it, though.
On everything.
I think the difference in being a coach from an impact player is you're able to make a play when there's not a play.
Right.
As a coach, you got to instill that in somebody else.
Part.
And that's hard. Yeah. Another hard part about being a coach is recruiting.
Yeah.
How has that been when you say, hey, I'm head coach Mike Vick, and I want to recruit your son? What is your recruiting tactic?
Well, it was actually reversed. That's the easy part for me. I feel like recruiting, you just got to understand the player. You got to understand the young man and get to know him a little bit. I think that's going to be one of my strong suits as I get comfortable in this role. The hardest part is being a former player and not being able to go out there and perform it.
Dang.
You know, teach it and trust it. Trust that they know it and they're going to go out and do it, and that's what we monitor every day. But, man, it's times when I'm sitting back there watching our quarterbacks perform, watching them in practice, and I see something I would have did as opposed to they would have did what they did in the moment, and it's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult. So I tell them, look, I can't help y'all. I can't do this anymore. It's on y'all. And so what makes this so special is watching them grow, watching them get better, watching them make good decisions and feeling comfortable after they go back and watch practice saying, hey, coach, yeah, I got it, man.
I know we got to go real quick. One last question.
Yep.
People don't know this about you. They might not know this about you. You're a pretty nice guy. So my question to you is, are you a nice guy as a coach? I mean, do you know how?
It all depends.
I mean, do you know how to be mean if you got to be mean?
It all depends. You can ask my coaches; they'll tell you. You know, we done had our moments. I done had my moments with players, and I think it comes out at the right time.
Right.
You know, I try to be understanding. I try to look at every situation and try to just work through it. But you know, when it goes too far, when I feel like it's carrying over, then I got to step in and be here.
All right, we got to go. Yes or no question. You going to beat Deshaun Jackson? Delaware State?